Yo.
Was good, y'all. We're doing something a little bit different today. So what we're gonna do here, I teased it on a couple comments. If you did see it, not a lot of people did, but like we're trying to do a Nas reaction. We figured out like literally in real time that he had just dropped an album. Top 5 rapper for both of us. I have like a fun little nugget of information. What?
Yeah, no, about the top 5 rapper for both of us thing that I was having some contemplating thoughts. So I was on a walk listening to Magic Shoe. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I changed my list up a little bit too. So we'll talk about that. But for sure, top 5 been top 5 for both of us for fucking.
Oh yeah,
as long as we could say what our top 5 rappers was. So
yeah,
like,
as soon as I had 5,
he hasn't
rappers,
moved.
Yeah.
He hasn't moved. You know,
it was like, all right, there's Ja Rule, DMX, Will Smith, Nas, and Eminem. I don't know how the rankings are.
Yeah, but so we decided we're just gonna do a ranking of his discography. I mean, I know a lot of people do videos like this, obviously, but we're just gonna talk our shit about Nas, and if you're a Nas fan, welcome aboard, and we're gonna do it.
Give us your top.
Yeah,
your
rank
full
ours.
discography.
Let us know how you feel about our opinions, even though they're
mine's not really an
gonna be
opinion.
better than his.
Mine's not really an opinion.
I
it's
literally
more
was
based
just
in
about
fact.
to make the joke about how like our opinions are better than theirs, but mine is better than yours. I know about that.
All right. So are we going worst to best here?
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows number 1. I'm not going to say it, and if you don't, then you probably haven't even clicked the video. You aren't here if you don't know what number 1 is. But yeah, I say obviously you gotta go worst to best. So
all right, yeah. So we'll do those, and then we have like the lost tapes. We'll kind of like put them like kind of where they would be.
Oh, I mean, do you have like? Could you fit it in 18?
Yeah, I put it in
for the sake of simplicity. I figure we just do it 18.
Okay, I was gonna go like at 14 and a half. I don't know if that's
but it's gonna be different for both of us though. That'd be weird.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, at number 16, so I have we're gonna have some notes here just so we can reference like tracks and shit. Although there's not gonna be much to reference on this one because I don't like it. I gotta go with Untitled. I really just like
wow at 18
from like beginning to end. There's like some spots in it. I remember when I first got it, I was like super pumped about it, and like the whole leading up to it, I was super pumped, and then was very very disappointed. He's rapping well, but I think it was like the timing of everything that he was like doing was trying to be like an updated sound for that era, and I just don't think it fit Nas well. And I don't know who produced. I don't know if there's one producer or if there was like a bunch of different producers, but I wasn't a fan of. I wasn't a fan of it. So that's where I have it.
I kind of like I get where you're coming from. So the way I have these is I've realized I'm very comfortable with the bottom 4 and how I rank those 4. Like I know none of it's better than all these albums. Like or it's worse than every album above it, and I'm comfortable how I rank them. And then the top 8, I'm really comfortable how I rank those. And like I know I like them more than all these albums below it. But the middle 6 for me is absolutely fucking brutal. I'm just going to say that. Like, it's really interchangeable where they could go, and it's very difficult for me to compartmentalize those. But at 18, I have Nasir. For the most part, dude, I know, like, it was hyped. I was excited for it. As much as I hate Kanye West as a rapper, I think he's an incredible producer. But, like, to me, it's 7 songs. None of them are very fun to me, and it just feels like it's put together and that's it. So I'm like, it's there. It's not horrible. Like if you want to listen to his discography, it's like, okay, cool. Bang out these 7 songs. You feel like you did something, but like it really doesn't provide anything for me from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with with that sentiment, and that's why I have at number 17 Nasir.
Yeah.
It's like it, more or less what you just said. They like. I remember when we listened to that, Like we were driving into to Brighton that night, and then just being like, it was so deflating because it's like, damn, Kanye
album back after 6 years.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know, man. I feel like it should have been so much better, and as great as a producer as Kanye is, I feel like he got his hands on it too much.
Yeah.
Like there was like that, actually, I have it right here. There's that one song that it was like, it was a lot of Kanye, like, Nas just kind of like jumps in at the end.
Yeah, I know what you're
everything.
talking about it. Yeah, and it was just
It's
like
7.5 minute track. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
like-
oh, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. You need water or something?
Yeah, I think I do actually.
I'll go grab water.
All right, so your 17 was Nasir, huh? Okay, so we might have like a similar bottom four pairing.
Yeah.
So I have for 17, I have the Lost Tapes 2. Sort of similar to Nasir, where I think it's longer, where it doesn't have like much to do, but like I give it a little bit of extra credit simply because it's longer. And then there's also like the aspect of like there's a couple like songs in there where I'm like, oh, this is enjoyable. There's like what's the one with like the piano and stuff that was like the title track. I forget what it's called.
Off of
We have,
Lost Tapes?
Lost Tapes 2.
There's like 3 tracks off of that.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name of the song, to be honest with you. But I actually was going to point this out. Track 6, Royalty.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was his first song with Hit Boy, but it was the album before he went on that run, and I don't know like what they had going on, and that was just like one of their things that they decided to drop off. But that's a very fucking, it's a crucial thing. I feel like for Nas's career,
Yeah.
that he was making music with him at that point. But so for the most part, it just feels like to me, the Lost Tapes 2, like it has a handful of songs that I do like, which is why I put it over Nasir. But like it was thrown together, it feels like it wasn't completely mixed, and it was literally like he needed to get off Def Jam. Brilliant, to be honest, because he was like, okay, fine, if I need to give you guys an album, I already put out a Lost Tapes that was pretty fucking successful and highly regarded, so I can use that to get you guys the sales that you want, and here's just all my bullshit Lost Tapes over the second half of my career. And then they barely mixed them up, and then they dropped an album. So.
It worked once.
Yeah. So, I have Lost Tapes 2 at 17. So 16 for me is... So, you pulled it up. So 16 for me is Nostradamus. And this was... I listened to this today because I was brushing up on some of the ones that I wasn't, like, super, super duper, like, familiar with over the past couple of days. And I listened to Nostradamus today, and, like, the first couple tracks... Like, I think the prediction is just, like, an intro, but, like, Life We Chose, I really like. Nostradamus is a fun song with that hook, like, Nasty Nasta Esco.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a dope hook. I always loved the song Shoot 'Em Up. So, like, Nostradamus has, like, its moments. I think where it fell short was, like, it's just, like, his first few albums are so fucking good that it was like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it hurts more because of, like, especially if you listen to his discography in order, like, it comes at such a sour place and then picks back up immediately after, like, pretty well. Where, like, so it's, like, in a sore spot. But when I was listening to it amongst the albums I didn't like as much, I was like, this is pretty good. Like, so I know it gets a lot of hate. I didn't hate it, like, I don't, like, hate it at all. I actually think there's, like, a lot of redeeming qualities to Nostradamus, but, like, it is definitely a low-end album for him, so I have it at 16.
Yeah, I also have it at 16. There's, like, more that I could say about it, but it kind of will tie into Lost Tapes a little bit because of, like, how that all kind of
Went down with,
worked,
like, the leaks and stuff, yeah.
So I'll hold off on that. But, yeah, really, like, that it was just, like, an album where you're just like, this is like, beside Nostradamus, Shoot 'Em Up, the two that you mentioned, it was really just songs. Like, it was just like he put together an album of, I know it sounds like so ridiculous, like simplistic, but like he just put together an album of songs and you put it on and you like listen to it and you're like, okay, I listened to it. There's like there wasn't any sort of connection with it for me. Like I wasn't like, oh no, man, like Big Girl is amazing, like it's actually really good. Like I wasn't, and actually, no, I'm not intentionally disrespecting Big Girl. I don't remember it but
which is
it was-
kind of
it
part
just-
of the problem. Yeah.
Well, one of the titles that I could actually. Say.
But that being said, I didn't think it was like there's nothing like necessarily bad about it. I just didn't think it was that great. Like, but like listening to that and like considering that this was like a low end Nas album to me, and I was like, this like isn't horrendous. Like, and that, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, I went through, so I have a running list of my top my top 200 hip hop albums of all time, and it's just a constant list that I keep updating, and with Magic 2 included. I went through. I was like, how many Nas albums do I have in my top 200? I have 9. I have 9 Nas albums in my top 200, and it's like, and to have Nostradamus like be not one of them, but still like an album he put out, it's like, you know.
Yeah, dude. It was an unfortunate placement in his career.
Yeah. Whoa.
So that was your 16 as well. You said.
Yeah. So yeah, going to my 15th, I gotta go with Lost Tapes 2. I just listened to it, probably for the second time. I think I listened to it once when it came out, and I didn't listen to it again. And one thing is, it gets to a point. So there's 3 songs. I don't know how to. It's like Jaru of rap. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Who Are You and The Art of It. Those were the 3 that I made notes of. That I thought were good. The rest of it, it felt like, you know how you get to the last track on an album and you kind of already know how you feel about it, and there's kind of intentionally not a lot going on. There's like long outro of like 2 minutes or whatever. It felt like for like his previous albums or whatever, it was like him trying to come up with the outro of the song and just kept making like outro type songs. and that's what it felt like for me. I was like, damn, man, like I went through everything without skipping anything. I gave each song its full due, but especially being at the tail end of like, I love Nas again, but listening to 18 albums worth of music over the since Monday, it was getting to a point where I was like, all right, man, there was like some songs where I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to move on. But I did just in case it would, give me a surprise.
Just in case something crazy.
Yeah.
Like that.
You just, oh my god, he actually spazzes in the third verse, but. But,
and even then, like, if he does that, like, does it save the album for you? Or
no, and I promise from here on out it's gonna start getting like incrementally better. So those are like the 4. Yeah,
but that's what I said about the 4, and I'm about to tie it in with my 15th.
Do we have
what?
No, what is it called?
We have the same 4 in the bottom. I have Untitled at 15. So like
right,
you said that Untitled is the worst, and I have that as like I think it's comfortably better than the other 3. But I know for a fact it's not better than the ones above it. Like there's a tier jump from like these bottom 4 albums for sure.
Yeah, those are the tier 3 Nas albums for me.
Yeah. That's what I did. So Untitled though, I don't have like the same opinion as you. So like we were talking about with the Queens Get the Money song. That intro track, like that subliminal shot, that like I was listening to it today. That's why it's top of mind. But the subliminal shot he took at 50 Cent, talking about how he's like hiding behind 8 Mile and The Chronic, like talking about Dre and M, and then he tied it into like a Rakim song that 50 Cent referenced, and then he like said 27 rappers instead of 21, so he could later say like add 23 to like make it 50, but also if you add 23 to 50 you get 73, which is the year he was born, and he was like talking about being in Queensbridge and stuff like through that thing.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I'm over your heads, like dude, he was going cool. He made it like really layered and like dope. And I was like, okay, so he's still fucking rapping his ass off. I've always really liked the song Hero, and then Hero's dope. I thought the Like Me bonus track at the very end was really dope. So there's, and You Can't Stop Us Now, I think is a fucking really good song.
Oh, yeah, that song, yeah.
Yeah, so I think like he's got like a lot of good tracks on Untitled. I just think the overall album, like for the most part, just the rest of it kind of feels like meh to me. So it has like high moments, which is like, you'll see it's kind of a theme of how I rank things. Like there's some things that I feel like are just really decent the whole way through. And I tend to weigh the ones that I think are a little bit more top heavy, even if the rest isn't as good, better because I come back to them more, even if it's only for a few songs. But that's why I put Untitled over the other ones. But yeah, we have the same bottom four for sure.
Yeah, that song is dope though. Like the no matter how. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh man.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, so this is where shit starts to get fucking hairy for me. This second tier of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums, like I have a lot of trouble ranking.
Yeah, I think I'm still good at the moment. Is it you? Is it me?
I was zigzagging. I'll say my 15th first. So at what number are you?
We're at 14 now.
14. So yeah, for 14 for me, this might get a lot of flack because of recency bias, which is also insane that I'm talking about 5 albums ago when I'm talking about recency bias.
Yeah.
But I have the first King's Disease at 14. So partially being because I don't know how to fucking rank these albums, and I really like I have it very clear in my head like how I feel about the most recent 5 he came out, and I think it's definitely the weakest of them. But I do think it's a good album. I think there's a lot of fun songs. Can I get the track list?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fun songs on King's Disease. So like.
Let's scroll down for 4 minutes so we can get to the bottom half of his.
Yeah, I remember 27 Summers really stuck out to me. Blue Benz is one of those songs where I really wish there wasn't a beat switch, because half of it I was like, bro, this is fucking lights out. Like, it was so hard. I was like, this is gonna be one of the better fucking Nas songs there is. I thought like the end. I thought like The Cure and Spicy were like really good songs that ended off, and like I thought it was really good. But I think the thing for me on King's Disease is it was for the most part consistently solid the whole way through with not a ton of standout. So I just have it at 14. But I do think like when it came out, I was like meh about it. Like I wasn't necessarily as excited of like the Nas Renaissance. Like I was later to that party. Like it took a couple of his drops before but now as like a part of it, it really is like, oh shit, like this was the first album of Nas reinvigorating himself. And like I said, it's not one of his lower tier albums, but I do have it at 14. And I think it says more about how good his catalog is than it does like how bad King's Disease is, because I really do enjoy King's Disease. But
yeah, that album, like, I guess I'll touch on it for a second. It's a little like spring training for Nas. You know, it was like him kind of like getting back into it. I have a similar feeling with that as well.
Yeah.
So my 14 is probably a little, not super controversial because there is a teardrop. Like I said, so I'm now in like the.
God, dude, am I gonna fucking slit your throat right now?
Dude, Illmatic. It's an okay.
There's 2 things that I'm worried that you're gonna say, and I know it's gonna be one of them. So.
I am.
Oh, I don't hate that.
So,
I don't hate that.
So like.
I have a very different opinion on that.
First of all, I'll say that the intro is like super dope because it goes through like all like a bunch of his classic lines and everything, and it really gets you like hype up for shit. And then it goes into "Hate Me Now," which is
no, New York State of Mind 2 first.
Yeah, okay.
And New York State of Mind, both of those songs are fire. But
yeah, actually, and you know what? I made a note here. I said, "Hate Me Now" comes on and makes you forget about New York State of Mind Part 2 because I really liked New York State of Mind.
What?
Part 2, yeah.
I think you're crazy.
And then I that's like one of those things where I don't visit the album enough where I guess like now in the days of playlist you can just pull it off. But Small World, that song's dope. Like it's a really good song.
I forget what. I mean, I'm gonna touch on this album in a very long time, but yeah.
It just like it kind of I don't know like it like lacked the creativity of the first two, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a couple of things that I thought you were gonna say there that was really gonna drive me up a wall. But that like I can at least digest. However, I will allude that I Am is one of my 8 that I consider very comfortably in tier 1. I don't. So this is where we're gonna start to maybe switch around a little bit.
And then So we're at 13? 13 is
Yeah,
me,
so
right?
it'd be year 13.
So, let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't have a lot to say about it, but the, Life is Good. I think Life is Good is it's in like the Nas world is more highly regarded than I think
It is.
personally. It's like
You
the-
have
it's
a
like
weird relationship with the Nas world, though, with a couple
oh, I'll
things.
start fighting people, dude. It's I don't know. Well, Life is Good is like the land of okay songs. Like it's like oh, this one's alright, and then this one's alright. Like it is that song Reach Out, Mary J. Blige on it.
It's the best
Fucking
song
awesome.
on that album.
Mary J. Blige
That song is
is
like, you
like-
just come back to it
Yeah.
and come back to it. It's so dope. Yeah.
Another thing. The Dawn is good. Back When, legit. Fucking the best song on it, which I think, where actually it isn't on it, is Nasty. Nasty is like one of the better Nas songs in my opinion.
the bonus track?
Yeah, it's a bonus track, and it's like if you listen, I tried to not that it would make huge impacts on anything, but tried to like stay away from the bonus tracks for the most part. But
That can muddy the waters with Eminem albums too.
Yeah.
Because he has like so much like robust deluxe versions of things, and it's like, dude, you're adding like another album to this. Like,
yeah, it's like now, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Nasty was really, really, really good. It would have been the best song on the album, but it wasn't on the album. But
Yeah, so I actually listened to the full bonus version in my rethink, and I didn't even realize that. So, but I think it is
Nasty.
Well, I just thought the whole thing was just, I just considered it all Life is Good. So
Yeah.
my interpretation of that album is going to be different from yours, just based off of the fact that I included the other tracks.
yeah,
So are we doing, you go with your next one, or do I go with my next one? I think it's 13. So.
Yeah, I think I gave my 13. That was it.
That was your 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so my 13 is going to make you be like, oh, what the fuck, but everybody else is going to be like, why did it take you so long to say this album? And my 13 is Streets Disciple. So you are a huge defender of this album, and I always give you a lot of shit for it, but when I was listening to it today, there are clear bangers on this album. Like the beginning of this album, disc 1 is pretty good the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like specifically towards the front of it, like there's like 3 or 4 songs like right away that I'm like, oh fuck.
These Are Our Heroes, America Way. Like
Nazareth is fucking insane good. But then I think it like tapers off a lot, and I think there's a lot of filler in the second half, and because the second half just like, I have a problem with lengths sometimes. Like, if he cut out the fat on this, if he cut out the fat, I said sometimes. If I cut out the fat of this fucking album, like I think it could be like a lot higher on my list. But like, I do the same thing with Blueprint too. I consider that the worst Jay-Z album because I'm like, bro, you're making me listen to like an hour and a half of shit that I think a lot of it is mediocre, and it's sprinkled, so there's not as much like oh, good song, bad song, good song, bad song, and it really like fucks up the flow for me. Mm-hmm. But like I do think it has a lot of redeeming qualities. I will say though that Hip Hop Is Dead does the Thief's theme a little bit better. The Streets Disciple, in my opinion.
They're both really, really good. He killed the beat twice. I might agree with you on that, though, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
like
that's
the way it goes
13.
into the next track, the Who Killed It, and he does that voice. Yeah. I don't think people like that, but I like. What's your 12?
So 12 for me, I have King's Disease 2. Again, same thing I was saying about the original King's Disease. I think what puts it over the first King's Disease for me is, like, I was texting you as I was listening to this. The first 5-7 songs on there, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, this is right up there with King's Disease 3 and Magic. Like, did I miss something? What the fuck? And then, like, the second half of the album, I'm kind of like, oh, this is why I put it, like, a little bit lower.
I should have trusted myself a lot.
Yeah. So, like, but, like, the beginning of the album, I think, is really, really strong. And, again, it's one of those things where, like, I think it's top-heavy enough where... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, between King's Disease 2 and Street Disciple, I think they both falter the same way. And Street Disciple might be a little bit more top heavy than King's Disease 2. So I might be making a live switch right now, but this is what I'm talking about. Like this is a really difficult like layer of albums for me to rank.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, those are 12 and 13. I might have just switched. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we'll say for now because I made the list official. King's Disease 2 is my 12.
All right. And then that actually. So, speaking of King's Disease, I have King's Disease 1 in there. There was, I don't know, and I knew I liked the song already, but when I was driving around listening to it the other day, when Car 85 came on, it was like the beat, the subject matter, the rapping, it all like fit together so perfectly for me. I don't know, and it must have just, you know how sometimes you listen to, it's like, not necessarily always about the song. It's about like when you listen to the song.
Well, it's
like,
about when you listen to the albums too, because like I feel like sometimes I'll go like just to speak on this, like you and me probably both went into the King's Disease 1 and 2 with the same mood. Excited about Nas because he just dropped Magic 2, right? Mm-hmm. Excited about the 5-album run he just dropped, and then going in with the expectations that these 2 albums are like the lower tier of that, and then you're like, oh, surprised by like how good they actually were. Like that mood elevates things.
Yeah. And it's and that song Spicy at the end is like phenomenal. It's such a
yeah.
And what else? But yeah, I mean, it was like I was said, it was kind of like training camp for Nas. It was like getting like, you know, brushing off a little bit, and then he jumped in, he killed it. It was the best at that point. Was his best album since hip hop is dead, in my opinion. So like 2008.
I think the album he put out before that is better. I haven't said Life is Good yet, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, 11 would be King's Disease 2.
There you go.
So King's Disease 2, it's like I don't think there's any like bad songs on it. Like there's not anything on it that I really disliked. I will say, like, kind of side note, EPMD 2, like, I really wish, like, M just stopped, you know, like at a certain point, like side note, he was like killing it, and then it just like got to the point where I'm like,
keeps going.
Just like, bro, it doesn't. Sometimes you can just come in with 16, you know.
The Waynes and the Drakes and the Rise of the.
Yeah. Rare was dope. I remember that being fire, and I don't know. There's not like a whole lot to say about it. It was just like I said, Life is Good, and it was like the land of okay songs. I think King's Disease 2 is the land of good songs. Like it was like pretty good. Like all the songs were pretty good. I was like,
the first 8 or so. Like once you like get past Store Run, I think it's like really really fired that whole way through. And then like I said, like the end, like there was some sprinkled in, but like for the most part, it kind of tapered off for me. But yeah. So my 11 is Life is Good. I don't know about Land of the Okay songs. I think there's like a lot of redeeming qualities to this album. You're the best. I was just about to pull this up. So yeah, Reach Out is fucking by far the best song. But I think it starts off really dope. Like I think Locomotive's like a really fucking dope song. I think like he attacks a lot of the beats in like fun ways, and I feel like it sounds like old school Nas in like a new school way. I think he really captured that. I feel like the songs in the album for the most part, like they're like he's definitely got like World's an Addiction, Summer on Smash. Like he's kind of commercial appealing a lot on the album.
Yeah, I don't like Summer on Smash.
But I disagree. I thought it was at least like a fun song to listen to.
There's Swiss Beats doesn't do it for me.
Well, especially when he like raps on the song. Like if he's making a beat in the background, it's fine. But when he's like adding vocals, it's like, why do your name is Swiss Beats, and we should. There's already a rapper named Swizz, and he sucks too. Like
you're not Swizz raps. You're Swizz Beats.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I would say, like I think it's like a little bit more solid. I think the overall tone of the album like feels a lot better for me than the other ones. But again, like it's so fucking hard to place the 6 I'm going through. So, but yeah, that's 11 for me. Now 10 for me. I have Hip Hop Is Dead at 10. So Hip Hop Is Dead, I think, is a fucking fantastic album. I think, not for nothing, Money Over Bullshit, the first song on the album, is literally the best Nas song up until The Truth on Magic. I think Money Over Bullshit is better than any song on any Nas album. Any Nas song on any Nas album up until Magic, The Truth. Like, literally, I think it's better than anything on King's Disease 2, Street's Disciple. Oh, no, Street's Disciple technically came up first. But yeah, I would say it's better than anything on Street's Disciple 2. Like, it was just one of my fucking favorite Nas songs. I think You Can't Kill Me and Carry On Tradition are both bangers. I think it starts off really dope. Blunt Ashes is a super fucking fire song. I think there's a lot to be said about it, but then there's like a lot of songs that are just like meh on it. Like Hip Hop Is Dead is definitely as high as I have it because of the top heaviness, because I think the songs that are bad aren't that great at all. Like, I wouldn't even say okay. Like, I think it has bad songs on it, but I think it has like really, really good fucking songs too. So I have it at 10.
Yeah, there's some that I'm actually not remembering what they are, and I'm pretty familiar with this album.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. This is side note. I realized when I was going through everything, I'm like starting with Street's Disciple, which probably gives you some indication.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was longer than. I'll say just because of what happened with Magic 2, like just because of that album. Within 48 hours, I've listened to every Nas album. Like when it came out, I was on it, and like I remember when Street's Disciple came out, and like going to get that Best Buy. But yeah, I was like, damn, dude, it's been whatever. That was at 04. It's been like 20 years.
06 was Hip Hop Is Dead. Street's Disciple was 04 though, yeah.
What did I say?
You said what is that 04? I didn't know which album you were talking about,
yeah,
to be
I know,
honest.
I was talking about Street's Disciple. Is it for me?
Yeah, you're 10.
All right, now I got Lost Tapes here.
Oh, wow.
This isn't even like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Like we're gonna get to the point now where I'm like, I don't have anything bad to say. And I know I still haven't said Street's Disciple yet. So, but No Ideas original, Purple, both fucking fire.
Oh my god, yeah.
And this is what I was gonna say about Nostradamus. So, what's the
I Am.
Shoot 'Em Up?
Oh yeah.
You take off Shoot 'Em Up.
Mm-hmm.
Move it over. What song did I put? What did I mention here?
Lost Tapes.
Papa Was a Player, the last song off of Lost Tapes.
Mm-hmm.
You take off Shoot 'Em Up. Take off Papa Was a Player. Put Shoot 'Em Up on there. Maybe take Nostradamus. Put that on there. Throw an intro. Bruh! I just fucking wiped out like one of your worst albums. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, the problem with the Lost Tapes, do you know what the story is behind that?
It was I Am got leaked or something like that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
like,
I Am and Nostradamus. Like, those are like the best songs he was going to put on both of those albums, and it got leaked, so he had to like basically redo the shit.
Yeah.
He duct taped it together. It was I Am and Nostradamus. Like, if the Lost Tapes ended up being those albums, like, I personally think there's enough songs on I Am and Nostradamus where, like, if you were to take the Lost Tapes and replace all the bad songs and fill in the Lost Tape shit, that would have been an insane 4-album run.
Yeah.
But it's not. But yeah. That's wild. It's a wild number 10 for me, personally.
Oh, this is what I'm here for. Now is where I plug in. Now we're talking about my top 200 albums of all time. Within that, I have Hip Hop Is Dead. I thought the first half of it is dope. There's a few songs in here that I'm like not really remembering, unfortunately. But I think I want to say after Blunt Ashes is like when things kind of start getting a little stale for me. I think it's one of the better albums for his beats. I think like the beats are really good on it. Haven't talked too much about Hit Boy yet, but that's coming up for sure. But yeah, I mean, his Not Going Back with Khalees. Like his songs with Khalees are actually pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think he has 3 songs with her, and they're all good. It's too bad they're not together.
Yeah, I think. I love Hip Hop Is Dead. Particularly Money Over Bullshit. I literally listen to that song. It's probably like a top 20 song on my like Apple iTunes like end of the year thing. every fucking year. So I'm going to number 9 now. So this is my last one of like this weird tier that I don't know how to fucking figure out. But number 9 for me is Magic 2. I love Magic 2. I mean, it's fresh on the mind and shit, so I think it's dope. My thing with Magic 2 is, when comparing it to, like, King's Disease 3 or Magic 1 or, like, some of the other albums that I have up top, I think Magic is literally a consistent album of very good songs with no skips. But there is not a Money Over Bullshit or The Truth or a song on that album where I am like, this is a fucking insane banger. I think... What?
No, go ahead, sorry.
I just think the whole album is very fire consistently, but it's like all 8s. Where like there isn't that 9-10. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Where there isn't that 9-10 that... Well, yeah, because Magic 1 has The Truth, which I think is up there.
Right.
With Money.
No, I just think you said... The Magic without saying 2 for a second there. So I got confused with that.
So Magic 2, I think like it's really great the whole way through, but like again, because there isn't that like 9-10 song on it, I keep it into this lower tier, but I think it's comfortably like, if not my favorite song of this tier, like probably my least favorite song of the upper tier too. Like, but I think it's just so early, I still can't really like compartmentalize exactly how I feel about it yet. Mm-hmm. And there might be a song that ends up growing on me too. Like it takes a while sometimes. So
yeah, I think you're on 8.
Okay, so this is where I go into my tier 1, where I'm like super comfortable, where I have everything. For 8 for me is I Am. So I had a different experience listening to I Am. When I listened to I Am, and I don't know, like this is, I'm actually going to compare it. So I had I Am before these most recent listens, because I have my Nas rankings prior to that too. Actually,
my 2019 Nas ranking.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had it at 11, including Distant Relatives. So I had it at 10. Because I put Distant Relatives over it. And I don't even know how I'd feel about that now. I didn't listen to it. I'm not going to incorporate that into it. But, like, so this recent listen, it kind of brought it back for me. And I think it's because, like, listening to so much new Nas, going back to, like, the older era Nas, of, like, that early 90s, though. Like, It Was Written Illmatic Nas that I fucking love, right? I was like, yo, this is a pretty fire follow-up to that album. And then, like, going through, like, the tracks, I think there's a bunch of songs on here that really fucking stand out as dope to me. I thought, unlike you, New York State of Mind 2 is dope. I think Hate Me Now is great. I think Small World's fire. I think Money Is My Bitch is like a really dope fucking like story track that he has, or like one of his concept songs. And then Big Things. I think it was Big Things. Stuck out to me like a motherfucker. That song was super dope. I loved Life Is What You Make of It with DMX. Like, I think that had so many fire songs peppered into it, and it was like old school, like original era Nas shit, and I just couldn't get enough of it, so yeah. I put it like relatively higher.
I will say the part of, and again, like I was saying about, sometimes it's when you listen to things. Mm-hmm. I Am isn't one of them that like came into my life when I was already listening to a bunch of other stuff. It was like one, like I Am and Nostradamus actually specifically were like the two Nas albums that I never really like. I listened to a bunch of them.
Kids, like Stillmatic and Godson were like fresh, like young, and then obviously everyone knew Illmatic and It Was Written. So like, yeah. I agree with you. Those are the ones we had to go back to.
And speaking of Godson, at was it 8? At number 8. I still haven't said Street's Disciple, huh? Mm-hmm. I have Godson.
That is unreal.
No, I had Godson above Street's Disciple, and then I listened to it again, and I was like, nah, you were right. you were right for the last 15 years. Or whatever. So...
He's insane. I'm sorry.
But Book of Rhymes is fucking awesome. Incredible fucking song.
That's the tip of the iceberg, bro.
Thug's Mansion's great. It would have been nicer if he used like the better version that had 2 Pac verses on it, but whatever, it's fine. And Heaven I mean, that was like a nice wrap up song.
That's wild that you're pointing out all those songs, and like I love those songs too, but I would not consider those songs high tier on that album.
The first. So okay, let me. And let me go back to the beginning because I had skipped over one thing that I mentioned here. Get Down, The Cross, Made You Look are all fucking insane. Like, dude, Get Down is like, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I'm right.
Get Down.
Yeah, like there's something about, and it's not good all the time. You hear that, Jedi Mind Tricks? That sometimes the hook is good, but there's other times where like there's no hook and there's just like cuts and stuff where it almost
and that beat really plays well into that.
It almost makes you feel like it makes you feel like Nas is rapping and someone like holds him back, for a second, and then there's like doing a thing. He's just fucking he's waiting to come back in, then he eats it up again. It's fucking awesome. The beat's fucking dope, and is it? I think it's Made You Look. That's like a song that could easily you could transport that and put that on Illmatic too. And it's like, it fits in because it has that like kind of clangy sound.
It almost sounds like he really likes God's Song.
I really do. It's it's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I think, so that was your 8. So what's your 7?
Oh, really? Still me? Oh, Street Disciple. That's
crazy.
So, Street Disciple, in my opinion, it's like it has a lot of strong songs on it. I think he honed in the R&B thing, which I didn't think. There was a couple of moments where he like tried it in previous albums that like it didn't quite hit for me. I'm not necessarily remembering. I'm remembering that this is what I thought as I was listening to it. So the biggest problem with the album, other than it being as long as it is he not saying like Khalees tribute songs as in like all the songs about Khalees, but there's like seems to be a bunch of like Khalees motivated songs, like a chunk of them, and I'm like,
there's a bunch of like
it's like, and
trick songs.
It's almost like if he could, it's like if he could go back and just like, now that we're not together anymore, let me just delete a few of these songs. But makings of a Perfect Bitch, is it that was called? The Makings of a Perfect Bitch. I do like that song, but the Remember the Times was like, it could have been a dope song, but it was like too much like, it was like just the song he's talking about, like all the girls that he's banged or whatever, and it's just like, whatever. Getting Married, I don't know, no one else in the room, get out of here. But there's so many, like, I'll leave this alone in a second. But yeah, Message to the Feds, Nazareth Savage, American Way, These Are Our Heroes, really Disciples, Sekou Story. Live Now is like a dope, like, I don't know, it's a nice song. Just a Moment. Can we please have a moment of silence? And then when you get towards there's like a little bit, like Suicide Bound, Street Disciple, pretty good. And then there is like a little bit, a pack of songs that I'm not really crazy about. But then he ends with Bridging the Gap, War, Me and You, which I actually don't remember without hearing it, and then Thief's Theme, which I think are all fucking awesome. So there's like, it's 25 tracks, and I'm like, I really like, I don't know, 16 of these. Like, so that's where, so I guess I'm forgiving some of the the worst songs on it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Okay. 7 for me.
I gotta go back and listen to it. Don't just look at other people's lists and then form your list off of that. Go back and listen to Street's Disciple, please.
So 7 for me is Magic. I fucking love Magic, dude. That album's dope. So Magic for me though is like, it's only 9 actual playable tracks, right? There might be like it's 9 exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's like a Illmatic length album, but like my thing with it, I think Speechless is fucking dope. I think Meet Joe Black is an absolute banger. But then I think Ugly is like not that great of a song. Then I think 4016 Building and Hollywood Gangster are really good. Then I think Woo for the Children is really not that great of a song, right? And then Wave Gods I'm actually not as big as other people are on, but like I do like it. And then The Truth, like I said, that song is the fucking truth, bro. I think that's the best Nas song since Money Over Bullshit. Like literally, that song is fucking incredible. And then like I like Dedicated. I think the strong songs are so fucking strong, and just that was the album. Like this is the highest ranked recent Nas album I have, right? Like it's like holy fuck, this is the best Nas album since when it came out. I'm not gonna allude to which one it is because it's gonna give it away what it is in my rankings. But the era is like in the 2000s, dude. Like this was fucking incredible Nas, yeah, like I thought Magic was super dope, but because like it's so short and there's like a couple holes that I don't like that much. It's the only reason why it's not like up there with the top 6. But
it's kind of like the top half of his discography is so strong that you kind of like you almost need to find reasons to like yeah. It's like, but at the end of the day, it's a really good album.
So I have to go into 6 immediately now. Because you did 7 already?
Yeah.
So 6 for me is King's Disease 3. I thought he fucking topped Magic with King's Disease 3. I think King's Disease is... so this is one of the times where while Magic is more of a short, concise, consistent album and King's Disease might have a couple moments, like pretty much the whole way through, King's Disease is dope. Like the first 8 songs are really fire. Like... Ghetto Reporter, Legit, Thun, Michael and Quincy, 30, Hood to Hood, Recession Proof, Reminisce, all really good songs. Then there's an interlude. I don't remember too much about that one, but I think he raps on it, and I'm not like a huge fan of it. But I think I'm on Fire is a fun song. I think Once a Man, Twice a Child is an incredible concept. I feel it heavily.
Yeah.
Like I like Get Light a lot. I think Don't Shoot and Till My Last Breath are incredible ways to end it. Till My Last Breath might be the best song on the album. I really like 30 as well, but like, I mean, this album's just amazing. I think it's the best Nas album since like his prime, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I got it at 6.
So it's my 6 now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this is where I put in Magic 2. I got Magic 2 at number 6.
Holy shit.
So I mean, it starts out as strong as Magic and KD3. I think like the second half of the album, it does take its foot off the gas a little bit on Magic 2. Like, is it Irvin Magic Johnson? I think is like kind of the beginning of that.
I like that song, but yeah.
See, this is all super fresh for me right now. So like this is actually the second time I listened to the whole album because we listened to it once and then I was gonna listen to it again and then we talked about doing this. So I was like, let me just start from the beginning. So it's actually only my second time listening to it. I remember so far, Abracadabra is amazing.
Super fire, right? Motion.
Motion. I think those are like the 2 standouts for me. And then I don't know, Bookham Woodbine. I don't even know what that song is, but it might be there. I thought that Irvin Magic Johnson was like a little bit, but not necessarily that it's a bad song, but it's just kind of where it like starts to steadily kind of decline.
I just pulled up my ranking and I had Irvin Magic Johnson at 2. But I had Motion and Bookham Woodbine also in the top 3.
Alright.
But
yeah, that's where. Oh, and so this is what I'll say about. I'll plug in my crisis that I had. So I do on the headphones. I went on a walk for this one. Each album I kind of like listened to it in a different way. Like some had headphones, others I was like just going on a ride, driving around. I'm listening to Magic and like I get to wherever the fuck I was, Motion, and I'm like, so I'll give you my top 3, because Nas is in my top 3. Eminem, Tupac, Nas. I was on my walk. And it's just fucking killing it. He's killing it just for multiple albums in a row now. And I was like, Tupac was still alive, and he was doing this, this would absolutely be my excuse to move him into number one. Now, I'm not saying Nas moving him into number one, but I'm like, as much as I love Pac, as much as I fucking love Tupac, and I do, this album, I'm like, this is kind of like the tipping point where I'm like, dude, he's put up, like, it's undeniable how many fucking good albums he's put out. How, like, what does he have to do?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, not that he has to do anything to fucking make me happy, but like, or to impress me, I guess. But like, it's I'm like, I think I might move Nas into my number two. I think he's now, I'm not like ready to make it official, but I think he might be.
I thought
two
you were
for
gonna.
me.
I thought you were gonna go a different direction. I thought you were gonna go to one. To be honest.
There's. If he does it again, like, and he does it one more time, and like, it depends on what M does.
This is gonna be my revelation, but I'm gonna save it for the end. Did you say your 5 yet?
Oh,
So you got King's Disease 3 and Magic in the 5, in the top 5. That's crazy. I mean, I can see it.
That's where it's like,
yeah,
and like, I was thinking.
Yeah,
I
can't
was
argue.
thinking
They're
about
my 6 and 7, like, and again, those can be like, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, like, that number one thing, but I'm like, M has been putting out some strong shit too. It's not like it's not like he's fucking putting out like encore stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know.
Yeah, I'm going into
But all right, so next I got King's Disease 3. I actually don't have like a ton to say about it. I realized this the other day. I was listening to it. Like, this shit's been out for 3 months. It's like, I haven't even, like, I'm listening to songs that I've now only listening to for like maybe the third or fourth time ever.
King's 3's only been out for 3 months.
I think so, right?
No, dude, it came out in 2022.
Oh, is it? So it's a year or 3 months. But there's like albums that I. Yeah, you're right. All right. Oh wait, what was I? What the fuck was I? Oh, maybe on Spotify. Because Spotify or whatever, it said something like April whatever. So maybe there was some sort of like.
You might have just saw April 2022 and in your head thought April 2022.
Yeah, but no, it was released in November.
Oh.
So now I'm confused. Okay, well, never mind. Well, forget that then. But yeah, it is an album that I haven't like really like dug into like a whole lot. I've definitely listened to it a few times over. It's the best King's Disease. In my opinion, fell a little bit short of Magic. What was that? Was it Once a Man's Choice Child? Right. That shit's fucking dope. And the bonus track with the Mets closer.
Dude, that is fucking. That's the best song I think on that
it's
album.
so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I stand. Have it at my 5. That's weird. I want to after this. I need to check my Spotify because I swear it said like April fucking whatever. And I've even thought it said this year, and I'm like, oh shit, it's only been out 3 months, and he's put out another album.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, because I have a playlist, like a running playlist of, like, all the shit from, like, this year, you know, and I put it on, and I was like, oh, I don't have any King's Disease in here, so that makes sense now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was like, I didn't save it. So it's on my 2022 playlist.
So 5 for me, I got the Lost Tapes. I know you feel like weird about the Lost Tapes because you like have that like whole like it's not an album thing, so I get it. But as far as like 12 songs being put on a CD that like you can play and listen to, like I think the quality of the music is my 5th favorite Nas album, compilation or not. I think it's dope. I think you can just really feel like the Illmatic and It Was Written vibe in it, and like the just like it came. All the songs were made.
I thought it was like a thing of. I thought it was after that era. No. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
It should say on the top, recording sessions from his previous studios albums, I Am. Oh, and Stillmatic. So it's from like 99 to 2001. But yeah, it's coming from like an era of fucking Nas where it's like just, he was in his prime. Like that time he was still there. Like Stillmatic was fire. And again, if he could have just added that to his like I Am and Nostradamus output, I think he would have strung together a fucking absolutely insane 4 album run. I mean, I'm not even gonna call out specific tracks because I think it's really fucking incredible the whole way through. Yeah, and I really wish this came out like as its own album because it's just like fucking, it's just dope. I don't know what else to say about it, man. Like,
It's like if you just called it, you gotta love it, you know.
it's,
That actually is a interesting. I mean, maybe, you know, everyone has their own like direction they want to move things, and maybe he was like, oh, these are like whatever, 11 dope songs. Let me just put that on there, and then we'll just like release it as its own thing. Like, no, that's not really wasn't the vision I had for a whole album.
Yeah.
But like, it is interesting. You put out like all original content, and then like you could have just really just called it an album, and it would have been an album forever. But.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's still dope,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is what it is. So my number 4. We've volleyed back and forth with this fucking album a million times. So I would say clear number 4. If you are in the comments and you tell me this is your favorite Nas album, I would have to say that I don't argue with you at all. Yes, I don't care if you put it over Illmatic. I think out of all of Nas's albums, this is the one I enjoy listening to the most. I might consider it my favorite Nas album, although I think the other ones are of higher quality, but it's Godson. I fucking think this album is ridiculous. You already have it pulled up. I think Get Down the Cross, Made You Look are all amazing. I think track 4 with the word that I can't say is pretty dope. I think
last. He's the last.
I think Zone Out, I think, is fucking a really good song, too. I think the beat is fun. I think Nas's verse in particular, too. This is one of those albums where Nas does not have a bad performance on it. Like, his verse is nasty.
I think the Bravehearts, I don't know who it is on Bravehearts, but they come on, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I think Hey Nas is like a fun song. I don't think it's probably like the weakest song that like pops up. But then I think I Can, come on, dude, you gotta love that shit. Yeah, I think it's one of his better commercial songs. Book of Rhymes is dope. I love the idea of the Thugs Mansion remix. Dance is dear to my fucking heart. I think Heaven's a great way to end it. Warrior Songs, Fire, Mastermind's dope. Yeah, I think it's clean the whole way through. And it's an incredible fucking album.
So, regarding Dance, I think I would like it better. I don't like the hook. His, like, the sing-songy, like,
I
thing.
love it.
Yeah, not for me.
I fucking love it, bro. He's singing to his mom, you know? But,
Well,
yeah.
sing better.
But outside of that, yeah, like, I can understand it being below the 3 albums that I put it below, obviously. But, like, it's definitely my favorite Nas albums to listen to, for sure. That being said, at the end of the day, like, I'm a hardcore, like, just hip-hop head at the end of the day, and although, like, I think Godson is, like, the most fun, cohesive listen out of all his albums, like, he impact and lyrically, especially era-adjusted, like, the other 3 albums are just better, so.
Yeah. My number 4 is Magic. I think it's the best album since Stillmatic.
Do it, yeah.
So yeah, there's, like you said, no skips. I don't know if you said that on this one. Did you say that on this? But yeah, in my opinion, no skips. It's I actually don't think I liked Brewers for the Children until I listened to it again, and then my most recent listen to it, I was like, actually, this is dope. Wave Gods I really liked, and I'm an A$AP Rocky fan, so like I love his part as well, and it's super helpful when your features come through, because that's something we haven't really touched on. There's sometimes where Nas kills it, but his features don't come through.
Yeah.
Like he's had a few songs where like, but he's had some great ones. Like we were talking about Mary J. Blige, and they're like, I thought some of the Khalees songs were great. Obviously, pretty much every time.
You're saying the features that he has on the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like, pretty much every time AZ shows up, he does his thing.
Oh my god, dude. That guy's top 20 for sure.
But yeah, that's. I got Magic.
Number 4.
And it is Magic.
Alright.
Which
number 3. This is where me and him are gonna clash again.
That would be it. It was written. Random note about the intro. I thought the intro was dope. Where it's like I wish it kind of went into a song, but it was like, damn these chains, man. And then it was like, it starts building up and it kind of chills out. I wish it kind of went in. But anyway.
And it goes into the message, right?
Yeah. And the message is fucking that beat, the piano on it. Fucking sick.
That song is so good.
Taking in Blood is fucking insane.
Is it a piano on the message or a guitar?
I thought it was
I'm like playing it in my head, and I'm like, for some reason I feel like it's a guitar.
I thought it was. Oh no, you're right. It is. It's a guitar. All right. Apologies. Yeah, and then I mean, once the album, like, by the time it like settles in, you're listening to Sweet Dreams. You know, like. It's fucking, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, okay, now we're here, and it's dope. It's just fucking, it's so fucking sick. Yeah, and that's how I feel about that. Guitar, not piano. Sorry.
So for number 3 for me, I got Stillmatic. Dude, I mean, what can be said about this fucking album, bro? Like Ether. Come on, bro. Like, the most impactful hip-hop fucking diss track of all time, probably. Insane. Got Yourself as Guns, dope. Smoking is a banger. Rewind's one of the best fucking story tracks. One Mic is one of the fucking best hip-hop songs of all time. Like, fucking The Flyest with AZ is fucking dope. My Country is a fucking banger. Like, the album's fucking incredible, dude. Like, it's super good.
Yeah.
Like, he's rapping his fucking ass off. Like, people said he fell off after Nostradamus, so it was like a really big comeback for him. Like, he fucking went on at toe-to-toe, like, at like one of the arguably, like, I mean, some people might say 2, some people might say 1, but it's like the most heavyweight hip-hop beef of all time, and came out on top on the fucking album. So it's like, I mean, what more can you say, dude? Like, this album's fucking ridiculous. I have it at 3.
Yeah.
And then to go to my 2, I have It Was Written. This is a thing, though. So we're obviously going to go into the number 1 that everyone knew was going to be number 1. But, like, to me, It Was Written, dude, like, came out 2 years later. Hip-hop was more evolved. Like, I might enjoy listening to this one more than Illmatic as well. As fucking fire as Illmatic is, like, It Was Written is insane, dude. The Message is a fucking crazy song. It goes into fucking Street
piano
Dreams.
on it.
Yeah, the piano on the Message, bro. It's just like boo 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 boo. You know why though? I think that it's been done similarly with a piano, and that might be what made you think of that. But Street Dreams. Fucking banger. We can say all we want about that Tupac beat. Is what it is. I Gave You Power is one of the fucking best storytelling tracks there is, dude. Taking in Blood's dope. I think Affirmative Action is fucking super fire. AZ and Cormega both fucking kill it, dude. Like, If I Ruled the World, I think personally is my favorite Nas song, period. Like, I mean, it's just, there's so much good shit going on with this album, man.
This album, I'll say I prefer Illmatic. I guess it's no secret at this point. But it is, like you're saying, I think it's more consumable for everybody. You know, like it's like If I Rule the World, like that doesn't happen on Illmatic. Like Illmatic is like just it's straight
even
hip-hop.
The World Is Yours kind of similar, but it's just different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet Dreams and Message, like it has like a lot more mass appeal, I guess.
Yeah, and then I would say The Message and If I Ruled the World are probably 2 of my top 5 Nas songs ever. So, yeah, dude. I mean, it's a fucking absolutely insane album. So,
yeah.
You gonna go into 2? Yeah.
My 2 and my 1 here. So yeah, my 2 is Stillmatic. I thought everything. It was everything that I Am and Nostradamus wasn't. Like it's fucking dope. Like having Ether on it, like to put that diss track on it and Destroy and Rebuild.
Oh
he goes after Cormega and
I forgot about that song.
Who else does he go after?
Nature.
the nature. But yeah, that fucking the album is fucking it's so good. Let me pull up the track list real quick. But it's like kind of one of those albums where it's like, oh my god, this one's on here too. This song's on here. It's like, holy shit! Is it like it could. It could be a greatest hits, like at some point, like it's having Ether, Got Yourself a Gun, Smoking on there, Rewind. You're already just kind of repeating the same songs now, but even You're the Man, that song that it's like the sample from like Sugar Man, that's the actual that's what's actually being said. It's just called You're the Man.
It's saying Sugar Man?
Yeah, but I think it's just like altered a little bit, so it sounds like he's saying You're the Man.
That's
and then if you just tell people it's You're the Man, then that's what you hear.
Yeah, dude, there's so many cases of that. That's a whole other hour-long podcast.
And then, which we are past. One Mic is like, it's fucking incredible. It might be one of like Nas's best songs overall. Like it's just the way it builds up and maybe not my absolute favorite, but the whole like Jesus died at age 33, that's 33 shots of twin
Oh yeah 32.
Like just like going through that whole thing, like he talks about people like pulling up in wheelchairs shooting and shit. I'm like, dude, it's fucking, oh my god, it's so fucking good. I fucking love it so much. Man, like even like towards like the bottom half of the album, just like give love to the ones that like we didn't get mentioned. Is like My Country. I love that song too.
I mentioned that.
Oh, didn't you? Fuck you then. I'll just edit that part out. I'll edit when you said it. Yeah.
You should just beep it, and then like have it be a joke that comes in.
And then. So the number one, so I got The Firm, dude. The
Firm, the album, and that QBC compilation with Gucci Wally Wally. I couldn't decide.
But it, so really, I actually wrote too much about it here, and I'm not going to say any of it. But I think, so I'm going to be super, super duper nitpicky.
Okay.
About it. There was the only things was like the intro was like a little weak. It's the intro.
Genesis.
Yeah, it's
call it what it is.
But and then
it is the genesis of hip hop if you think about it.
What song was it? One Love. That One Love is the only song that there was like a part. There's like. Not even the whole song.
I love the beat, the dude.
Yeah. No,
it's that, like a metal drum or something in the background?
It's a piano. It's the only. It's like really the only song where there's anything for me to say on it that is like anything towards critical. Mm. So essentially, what I'm saying is, out of an entire Nas album, Illmatic, there's like 30 to 45 seconds on One Love that I wasn't like crazy about. Yeah. That's just me for no reason picking on it. But it's the best hip hop album of all time, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's definitely the most impactful hip hop album of all time. I wouldn't say it's my favorite hip hop album of all time, and I've definitely I feel like a couple of comments I've made so far is I've been like, oh, I think It Was Written might be more listen toable, and Godson it might be my favorite. Like, okay, Illmatic is, if not like, it is. I would say like, in a vacuum, the best hip hop album of all time. Like, if you were to be like, oh, remove your bias from like life, and like. I owe like, I would say 80% of my like hip hop enjoyment to the fact that this album even like came out. We were talking about it before. Like, if you really pay attention to hip hop and you listen to like everybody that was like considered the greats before Nas came out, before Illmatic came out, you're talking like still like the era of like hand claps and more like, it just like, it was dope for the era it was in, but it was like way more like kind of. I met
this little girlie. Her hair was kind of curly,
like just super.
I remember like mid '80s, but like
it
was, but it stayed.
They were doing that stuff too, but Illmatic, like you can listen to the sound on Illmatic, and it still kind of translates today, like as if it just came out, and you can hear the influence on like all the best era of hip hop, like beyond, right? Like there is no It Was Written if there wasn't Illmatic. There is no Reasonable Doubt if there wasn't Illmatic. Like we were saying it before, Illmatic and the Wu-Tang Clan, like Enter the Wu-Tang, were the first two guys to really make that modern sound come to life. Where like even
Where
like
they
a Chronic 2001, I feel like stemmed from like that shift in sound. And he rapped his ass off on it, like lyrically, dude. It was like, especially fucking, what was it, 93, 94, whatever it was. Like,
94, this one.
Yeah, like compared to everything else out at that time, dude, he was smoking everybody.
Yeah.
You can't say anything about it, man. Like,
it was, I'm like just looking at this track list now. Nas literally, he could have like started making this album if he made it like in chronological order. He could have been like got to The World Is Yours and been like, you know what? I think I'm done with hip hop. I think I'm just gonna stop right now. And then he would still have 2 songs that everyone would know. In the and one of them is an intro. So out of 3 songs, his first like 3 songs ever in an album, he had 2 of them are remembered to this day and will be remembered for another 30 years.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's fucking silly. Like, and yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, it was the beginning of people. I don't know if rapping for 4 measures is like that, if that's like the correct, but like for 4 like starting and like fill the whole bar with rap, you know, instead of like having it breathe too much, which I feel like was a thing of like the previous generation before. He's like one of them that started bringing it in. And having AZ, like AZ probably didn't know it, but he had a super duper important job to not fuck up. Because he's the one feature on this. He's got 1 fucking verse, and then he kills it too. Like, it's like you could like, if you have a bad verse here, you could fuck up a perfect album.
But
and he didn't.
he had the better verse.
Yeah, on the song, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, he did. He so like yeah. I mean, this album is just incredible. So closing thoughts though. I was gonna say my thing. So he mentioned he put him above Pac, right? My top 3 has always been Eminem, Big L, and Biggie with Nas at 4. Yeah, dude, it's undeniable. Like he's now across 4 decades put out music. Yeah. Like he's now in the back half of his career dropping like quality albums to the point where like he has like a 12 albums in his discography where it's like you both have 4 combined, like between Big L and Biggie, and like Nas can hang out with both of you. Yeah. And like as much as I love to hang on to like, I love that Big L style, dude. I love it so much, and I truly believe if Big L was still alive that he might still be doing shit like this. It's unfortunate, he could be number really, 1. That... Like same for Biggie, like but like unfortunately they're not, and like I have to like really look at a career here, and like Nas is definitely gonna go into 2 for me, and I mean it. I love Eminem. I mean it's like unreal like how much I love Eminem. He's always going to be my favorite rapper, but like they are in a fight.
Yep.
I will say they are in a fight, and I am biased enough where like Eminem just needs to drop some good albums and I'll probably stay on that side. But like the fact that I'm entertaining that they're in a fight says a fucking lot. And I'm going to have a close eye on that because Nas said he's already planning on dropping something again soon. Yeah. Eminem says he's got an album on the way. Like
it must be a King's Disease 4. I would imagine. PC said he's in the middle of 2 series. Right? Yeah. So it's like, all right, well... unless he starts a 3rd series. Mm-hmm. But one thing I'm going to mention just from the... something I had thought about after we had done the other reaction to... It's called Office Hours? Is that the name of it? Or just Office?
The one with 50 Cent.
Yeah. Whatever. A resurgence of careers, like having an incredible run. Nas... But two other rappers, and actually let me pull up the name of the album real quick. I'm sure no one's watching this at this point. Everyone's gone, so it's just us hanging out.
We can skip stuff.
But so Cormega has released an album, I think it was last year at this point, yeah, The Realness 2, where he fucking kills it.
That's awesome.
He fucking kills it. And I'm like, that's so awesome to see. that happened, and Snoop Dogg, BODR, back on Death Row, both fire albums. Both, I'm sure Cormega is probably just as old as Nas. He's 52. Like these dudes in their late 40s, early 50s, and just like I have my theory is like they have all their good shit at the beginning of their career, and then there's like a point where you get to like your mid 30s where you're trying to maybe keep up with like what's going on. Too
hard, and then you stop caring.
Yeah, and then you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do the thing that I'm really good at, and I just do that, and it's with all four of them.
I agree.
With Mega and Snoop, it's a little bit different. It's only been one album for each of them so far, but
and like just like, would you say both of those albums are up there with like Magic and King's Disease 3 and stuff, or?
Yeah, I don't think quite as high, but after this we'll throw on the realness. So after we're done.
Yeah, and we're talking just like I'm sure this is like they're both fire, but like when I'm talking about the way Nas and M did it though, you're talking like two dudes that were like top of the game. You know what I mean? During their primes, kind of like stayed relevant and consistent, and then both had resurgences where it's like, holy fuck, they're like just still doing it with like the people who are at the top of the game now. And it's like, I think they're the only two rappers to do that in the history of hip hop, just because it hasn't had enough time for that to even happen that often. And like Biggie really and Big L and Pac died, and like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's wild. You might start to see like the J. Cole's and stuff have like similar runs that are just as long, but like until now, it's just been those two. You know?
Yeah, it's like when you're watching football and then you like Tom Brady and he's doing shit that's never been done before, but then it's like in like 15 years when like Mahomes and Josh Allen and they start getting to that age, and it's gonna be like, oh wow, there's like 6 quarterbacks in the league right now that are in their early 40s that are like the Joe Burrow just threw for 5,000 yards. But
this has been all too long. If you stuck around for the whole thing, we love y'all. Hopefully, people tend to gravitate towards stuff like this because we love doing it. So see you on the next one.
See you.